Good morning, everybody. This is Lincoln Kenobi here, and today I'm going to talk about this one article that I found a week ago. But I was so busy and everything, and I was trying to get my multi-stream going and all during that moment. So this came out right after what was going on with X-Men '97, bro, and I read it. I went through it already, and it's got good predictions on it. So I'm gonna read this and everything. I may only be doing this one video because I got to get ready for my other job, for my main job. So let's get to it, okay? It's titled X-Men '87. Every storyline teased for season 2. So there's a lot of possibilities what may happen in after season 1 season finale. There is a possibility what may happen. I mean, we know about what happened with Wolverine. We saw in the end that Apocalypse is there during the X-Men's time travel. We see that Scott and Jean found Nathan when he was just a boy. So something's gonna happen. So let's dive into this story. All right, X-Men '97 has just wrapped up its 10 episode first season, but we know Marvel Animation is already deep into development on season 2. What will the next season be about? What villain can possibly top the living Sentinel Bastion? Thanks to episode 10, we have a much better idea of what's next for our mutant heroes. Let's take a closer look at the appointees and tolerance in existence, and the other storylines this season, from the return of Apocalypse to Wolverine losing his adamantium to the possibility of Onslaught becoming the major threat. These are the plot threads we expect to see in season 2. Alright, let me put this up here. I'm sure you guys can see this part, right? Yeah? Okay. The rise of Onslaught. No sooner does Professor Xavier return to lead his students than he crosses a major moral red line in episode 10 when faced with the realization that Magneto can't be reasoned with. Xavier forces his way into his old friend's mind and reverses the damage done to the Earth's electromagnetic field. This is an act that's sure to bring in some serious ramifications. The twist draws heavily on the 1993 comic book crossover Fatal Attractions, that the story climaxes with Magneto ripping the adamantium from Wolverine's bones and eventual Xavier lashing out and wiping Magneto's mind. However, that mind wipe brings with it an unintended consequence. The dark side of Magneto's psychic travels to Xavier's mind and begins to fester. Ultimately, a new villain named Onslaught is created as a psychic melding of the worst parts of Xavier and Magneto. Once Onslaught learns how to take physical form, the X-Men are in a fight for their lives. So that could be a possibility. So that may be a possibility of what may happen, man. But we will see. That's one thing. So episode 9 and 10 seem to be setting up that twist with Xavier entering Magneto's mind. Onslaught makes sense as a major villain for X-Men '97, someone with the power to easily rival that of Bastion. In fact, Onslaught proved such a threat to the Marvel Universe in the original comic book storylines that the X-Men had to ally with the Avengers and Fantastic Four to stop him. X-Men '97 has already brought in one Avenger in Captain America. Could the full team be next? Well, it wasn't just Captain America that was in there. It was Iron Man in there as well. So, who knows? We're going to see. Onslaught's storyline could also pave the way for the series to explore the connection between the X-Men and Fantastic Four. Reed Richards and Sue Storm's son Franklin is himself a mutant. He's arguably the most powerful mutant alive, with the ability to wrap reality and create entire pocket universes out of pure imagination. Franklin becomes key to stopping the threat of Onslaught. That's interesting. You know, if they, it's like this. I enjoyed X-Men '97. At first, I was against this this non-binary thing they do to Morph, the the wokeness that they're trying to push. But when I saw the show, they had elements in there of it, but they did not push it. They didn't push that, which was good, and I enjoyed it a lot. But I still don't like what's going on between Morph and Wolverine, because Morph is getting in too close to Logan right now, and so I just hope they don't screw it up. So the next part, Wolverine loses adamantium. What's next? Just as in Fatal Attractions, Wolverine learns in episode 9 that what happens when you push Magneto too far. The Master Magnetism pulls the very metal from Logan's bones, which begs the question of why they didn't put Wolverine on the gold team instead. Fair warning, we're about to spoil what happens to Wolverine in the comics, so stop reading here if you don't want potential spoilers for X-Men 97. So, I know what happens because I read it, and I'm sure most of you saw it. If you have read the comic books of X-Men, Magneto, he ripped out the adamantium out of Logan's bones. And of course, during the time of Wolverine's comic books, he has the bone claws. And it's wild. And I remember that. But I never collected the Wolverine comic books, but my brother, he's a huge fan of it. And he has told me a lot of what is going on. So I asked him this question: how does he get it back? And he's told me that Apocalypse's son, I forgot his name, man. I gotta look it up. Let me see. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Let me see. All right. Apocalypse. No. Apocalypse. Apocalypse son. Let me see. No, it's. Let me see. Wait. Let me see. Man, I should have looked this up before, but it's okay. How did get his adamantium back? There it is. But let me see. It wasn't from Sabretooth, that I know. It was someone else. This was someone else. My brother told me about it. Let's see. Anyways, bro, I know it was one of Apocalypse's children that helped him with that, but not only that, it also made him into one of Apocalypse's children, the Horseman. But I mean, let me tell you, this is interesting what may happen. So let's see. Let me read this part right here. So again, the immediate result of this fact in the comics is that Xavier physically lashes out at mind wipes Magneto. Xavier's reaction in the show is comparatively mild, but he still hijacks his old friend's mind for the greater good of humanity. And for Wolverine, the damage is already done. Losing his adamantium is the start of a long journey for the character, on one that we may now see play out in season 2. In the comics, Wolverine's healing factor shorts out due to the trauma of Magneto's attack. This is also when he discovers for the first time that he has bone claws beneath the adamantium, raising new questions about his past and true mutant nature. Wolverine temporarily leaves the X-Men, coming into conflict with villains like Lady Deathstrike and Cyber. And I remember that. He fought, during his journey, he fought against Lady Deathstrike and Cyber, who has the skin arms of adamantium, and his fingernails were adamantium. So this is interesting. This is going to be interesting for Wolverine, bro. Wolverine's healing factor eventually returns with a vengeance, no longer having to accommodate for all the toxic metal populating his bloodstream. That eventually causes Logan's body to mutate, transforming him into a feral, bestial shadow of his former self. Luckily, Logan eventually regains touch with his humanity. Wolverine does eventually get his adamantium back in the comics. He's kidnapped by Apocalypse and brainwashed into becoming a new Horseman of Death. That is true right there. But I know I have to find it, bro. Because Apocalypse, one of Apocalypse's sons is the one that did it. Right now, I was looking up here. It was saying that Sabretooth did it. I'm like, nah, that is not right. So I got to look deeper in that. So, finding powers, Apocalypse restores the adamantium skeleton. Logan eventually breaks free from Apocalypse's control and returns to the X-Men hole once more. Now, how he got back and how he got out of it was because of the fact that Psylocke helped him with that. So it's easy to see X-Men 97 adapting some of all of these storylines. The series hasn't predominantly featured Wolverine in Season 1, but that looks to be changing for Season 2. We may see him leave the team to recover from his injuries and get back in touch with himself, paving the way for episodes revolving around his rivalries with Lady Deathstrike, Cyber, or Sabretooth, and maybe even delving more into the character's connection to Japan. This could also be a perfect opportunity for the X-Men 97 to explore Logan's full origin story, something the comics hadn't yet established when X-Men the animated series was originally on the air. It has been done. It has been done if you read Wolverine's novels, because there are book novels out there of Wolverine of his past when he had the bone claws when he was young to what's been happening now. So, I mean, just look it up, guys. You can look it up and see. I mean, it's out there. You just have to find it. We may also see the series explore Logan's regression into a feral monster and his recruitment into Apocalypse's Horsemen, especially with all the Apocalypse teases in the Season 1's finale. Whatever happens, it seems safe to assume we will see a lot more of Wolverine in the future seasons in X-Men 97. Yeah, they really didn't. They didn't, like, in the original X-Men show, they did somewhat do some shows with Wolverine. Mostly some episodes with Wolverine. But this one, they didn't this time. But, I mean, it's good to take a change. It's good to take different approaches, you know. So, let's see. Then the next one they talk about is the rise of Apocalypse. Tolerance and extinction may have left the door open for onslaughts in the future season, but it seems the focus is shifting to another, more familiar ex-villain in Season 2. The clothing scene in Episode 10 strongly hint that the next season will revolve around Apocalypse. In fact, that episode teases a three-pronged conflict set of multiple points in Apocalypse's long lifespan. One group of X-Men have traveled back in time in 3000 BC, when a young En-Sabu-Nur is battling against the Pharaoh Ramatut, or as we like to call him, Kang the Conqueror. Another group has traveled to the distant year of 3060 AD, when a young Nathan Summers and Clan Askani are the last form of resistance against Apocalypse's reign. Meanwhile, in the present, Apocalypse is seen mourning the dead of Genosha and contemplating resurrecting Gambit as his new Horseman of Death. Yeah, man, because, I mean, It's a possibility, bro. It is a possibility that that's what they may do. They may try to do that. How exactly these three time periods are meant to intertwine remains to be seen, but we all assume all these threads are connected based on his appearance in the final season of X-Men animated series. We know Apocalypse has hijacked the body of Fabian Cortez and returned to power, but is world domination his goal, or does he see himself as the protector that the battered mutant race needs in these dark days? Again, we likely see Gambit resurrected as the Horseman of Death in Season 2, when we doubt he will be the only hero recruited into his fearsome foursome in tradition holds. If the tradition holds, Apocalypse will recruit other mutants to his cause, either willingly or unwillingly. This could be how Wolverine recovers his adamantium. Apocalypse will likely also be the catalyst that brings Archangel back into the picture, as he usually has a vested interest in fighting his old master. Also expect a big reveal regarding the identity of young Cable's protector, Mother Ascani. Suffice to say, the Summers and Gray family tree is one confusing mess, and it's only going to get messier, speaking of which. Vulcan, the missing Summers brother. Season 1 dives headlong into the convoluted nightmare that in the Summers Gray bloodline, introducing Jean's clone Madeline Pryor and revealing Cable's tragic origin story. We're expecting Season 2 to dig even deeper into its bizarre family tree with the return of Vulcan, Cyclops' long-lost brother. I didn't know. Alex is also his brother, but man, this is weird. Vulcan is teased in Season 1's 6th episode, where he's shown to be a member of the Shi'ar Imperial Guard. In the comics, Vulcan was born into Shi'ar slavery after his parents were abducted. There he eventually escapes and returns to Earth, becoming a member of Professor X's forgotten second team of X-Men. But after Vulcan and his team are seemingly killed by the living island of Krakoa, Xavier wipes all traces of their memory, robbing Cyclops of his brother, that is, until Vulcan returns with a vengeance. Vulcan. I gotta look that up. I didn't know that. We don't know how closely X-Men 97 will adapt to that material, as it appears that the show's version of Vulcan has remained under Shi'ar servitude rather than returning to Earth. Regardless, we expect Cyclops to face a flood of emotions as he uncovers the existence of a brother he never knew he had. Presumably, the series will also get around to exploring the sibling relationship between Cyclops and Havoc. That I know. And it may even show Vulcan trying to usurp the Shi'ar Imperial throne for himself, as an uncanny X-Men rise and fall of the Shi'ar Empire. Yeah, this is interesting. Alright. And then you got the Operation Galactic Storm. When Vulcan makes his debut in episode 6, he's shown fighting as a member of the Shi'ar Imperial Guard, who are serving in the cataclysmic war between the Shi'ar and their rivals, the Kree Empire. That war is based on the 1992 Avengers crossover called Operation Galactic Storm. In Operation Galactic Storm, the Avengers once again find themselves caught in the middle of an interstellar war between the two opposing empires. We know the same is true in the animated series, as a former showrunner, Bail DeMaio, revealed that many of the Avengers have been called away from Earth to intervene in the war, hence why they are not around to lend a hand against Bastion. We suspect the effects of the Kree-Shi'ar war will continue to play out in Season 2. If the show follows the example of the comics, the Kree will be devastated by the detonation of a weapon called the Nega Bomb, and the Shi'ar will emerge victorious. But how will Empress Lilandra react? And will she face new challenges to her throne from her treacherous sister Deathbird? This subplot may be a way of bringing the Avengers to the forefront in future seasons. We already got a Captain America guest appearance in episode 7. We saw both he and Iron Man protecting the president in the finale. But what about the full lineup of Earth's mightiest heroes? I'm going to say this, bro. Since they have succeeded with X-Men 97, they may try to do an Avengers series. They could do an Avengers animated series. They could do a Fantastic Four animated series. And Spider-Man the animated series, which I've been reading, hearing about, that they may bring it back. But they got to make sure they do it right. And be respectful with the comics. They got to be respectful. Because that's what they did in X-Men 97. They put a little taste of wokeness in there, but they didn't go through with it. They didn't push it. But as long as they try to keep that woke nonsense away from all these other issues, all these other storylines, it would be good, bro. It would be good. Anti-mutant hysteria. Things were definitely looking up for the mutant race at the beginning of season 1. Relations between humans and mutants have improved. Mutants had a country of their own in Genosha. Xavier's dream finally seemed within reach, but that's all taken a very dark turn thanks to Bastion and Operation Zero Tolerance. Anti-mutant hysteria is on the rise, and at the moment there aren't even any X-Men around to keep fighting for the dream. In that sense, we are expecting Season 2 to carry a darker and less optimistic tone. The X-Men may have saved the planet yet again, but that only counts for so much in a world that seems to hate and fear mutants as much as ever. We expect that Season 2 will focus on 2 characters in particular when it comes to exploring the boiling tension between humans and mutants. Reverend William Stryker is shown in a news interview in Season 1, suggesting that the series will eventually adapt the events of 1982's X-Men God Loves, Man Kills. That story is also notable for inspiring the 2003 X2 X-Men United. Though in the case, Reverend Stryker was reimagined as a military officer and Weapon X leader. The other character is Graydon Creed, who will be familiar to the fans of the original animated series. Creed was the founder of the Friends of Humanity in Season 2, ultimately being discredited after his mutant parentage was exposed. But Creed seems to be on the rise once more, with a radio broadcast in episode 10 revealing that Creed is fast becoming a major political rival to the more liberal, mutant-friendly President Kennedy. If Creed manages to unseat Kelly, the X-Men could be facing an even more dire political climate. Yeah, look at this, T'Challa's Black Panther. Yeah, there's a lot going on here, bro. It's like this, man. There's possibilities, man. X-Men, right now, the X-Men 97 has shown possibilities of what is going to happen, bro. What they can do. What they can bring. Problem is, Disney owns Marvel. So we don't know what Disney's going to do. Disney may try to ruin it, maybe. So, we'll see. The debuts of X-Force and Generation X. There may not currently be an X-Men team in the wake of Episode 10, but Season 1 has hinted at the possible debuts of other mutant teams. We wouldn't be all surprised to see X-Force or Generation X make their debuts in Season 2. X-Force is a more militaristic counterpoint to the X-Men, a team led by Cable and tasked with taking a more proactive approach to stopping threats to mankind. Based on Episode 10, it seems Cable was marooned in the year 1997, so we could see him spearheading a team to carry on the legacy on his time-displaced parents. If so, expect characters like Domino, Shatterstar, Pharaoh, Warpath, and Richter to join the fray in Season 2. Generation X, meanwhile, was the designated team of Teenage Mutants during the 90s X-Men comic book era. The team was led by Emma Frost and Banshee and featured members like Jubilee, Skin, and Monet. Let's not forget that Emma recently emerged from the ruins of Denosa, so the series seems to have plans for her down the road. Could she take charge of Xavier's ruined school and recruit young mutants like Jubilee and Sunspot to form a team? That could be the case. Yeah, that could be the case. And we'll see. T'Challa as Black Panther. Black Panther is among the many Marvel heroes who make a cameo appearance in Episode 10. And we see him defending Wakanda from the attacking Prime Sentinels. But interestingly, we later learn that the Black Panther of the X-Men 97 universe isn't T'Challa, but it's his father, T'Chaka. We could only assume that this was an intentional choice on the part of the writers, one designed to pave the way for a story where T'Challa inherits the mantle from his father. But why would that be the focus of an X-Men series? One possibility is that the X-Men 97 will explore the relationship between T'Challa and Storm. The comics have established that T'Challa and Storm share a romantic relationship dating back to before the days when T'Challa was crowned king. The two even married during the midst of 2006's Civil War crossover, with Storm becoming Queen of Wakanda for a time. Their marriage was eventually annulled, but that doesn't change the fact that she and T'Challa shared a close bond. Could we see Season 2 adapt the Black Panther Storm marriage storyline? Will Storm be torn between her loyalty to the X-Men and her responsibilities as a global leader? Again, Season 1's Black Panther cameo seems to be the harbinger of much bigger things to come for the character. So, I mean, there is a lot of possibilities what may happen in Season 1, bro. There is a lot of possibilities. But right now, it's like this. If they do this right and bake their time, they may succeed. They may succeed if they do this right. And that's all it takes, bro. All they gotta do is just make sure that they don't try to put all this woke propaganda in these shows. That's all they gotta do, bro. They did a little bit in X-Men 97, but Bayo de Mayo is out the door. He guy's already gone. Season 2's already been written, but it can be changed. So we don't know what's gonna happen. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and it's interesting, this topic. I would have talked about this last week, but I was so busy with other things that I had to take care of. But this is interesting to see. So you let me know what you guys think of this. If you like the video, hit the like button. Post a comment below. Tell me what are your thoughts on this. What do you think what may happen? If you share this video out there, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for me. And I hope to hear from you guys. All right, guys. Have a good day. Bye for now.